All right, so at this point it works. We can check and uncheck, but there are a couple things that I would like to improve in here. The first is, you can tell if I double click real quick here, I actually select the label, and I personally don't like that experience. It might be different for your use case, and you probably need to honor what the browser is doing, but in my opinion, it should not need to be selected. So the label, you can actually do user select none for that. And so you can now double click quickly on the label, and that won't be selecting that text. And this is how you turn it on and off. Okay, so next is the checkbox itself. I don't like it because it snaps right in, and I would like that to be a transition from one state to the other. A very subtle one, but still, I want it there. So do you remember we have the after selector here that we are not actually using at all? Well, here's the time where we are actually going to use it. So first of all, let's take these over somewhere over here, and you can do that like so. So now we can actually do before is going to be this content, and after we're going to have the opposite. Oh, okay. So now you can see we have the before and then the after, and they are just both of them shown at the same time. So now what we need to do is we need to hide one or the other depending on the state of the checkbox. And we can accomplish that by going here and changing that to be, okay, so on when you are checked before, which is the checkbox, we want that to be actually shown. Let's see if I've got this right. And then the after icon or the checkbox outline should be hidden. And the other way around would be for the unchecked state. So we can actually do something like this. And let's see if I got that right. So now we can go to the checked state, see that it is actually checked. It's showing the proper icon. And then when we uncheck, we get the proper icon as well. But this is still not what we need right now. So what we want is to overlap both the before and the after elements. And to do that, we go here and say, okay, your position is going to be now absolute. Okay. Awesome. To be sure, we want this to be the relative position. And let me bring back our friends here, the background, so that we can see what's going on. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give a certain padding to the left. And we're going to do the icon size padding over here. Okay. So now here on the browser, you can see the label has this padding over here. The padding is the same amount of pixels of the size of our icon. And now we can do, since the position is absolute, we can do left 0. All right, so we brought that back to its place, but we'll still want a little bit of space over here in between the tomato and gray. So I'm gonna do, let's do that like a 10% of that, maybe 20% of that to be the margin or the spacing in between the text of the label and the actual icon. Okay. All right, cool. So let's hide those. And we are now in business again. But we can tell that there's still that same behavior. So we haven't really moved any step forward here. What we need to do is to change the transition for the opacity of the before and after pseudo elements. And we want that to be around 0.4 seconds. All right, let's try that. All right, so now the icon is fading in and out, and you can compare that to your native checkbox for Google Chrome. Do you like it? I do. Let's also add yet another variable here. And let's separate these because those are going to be for the actual checkbox. And let's do an input color. All right. So I'm going to paste a couple funny colors. So you have delete or coffee, boo boo, or this one, you see, just for fun. So we're going to do this. And we're going to use this variable, input color, only on the actual checkbox here. So let's go on our browser and see what it does. There you go. I needed to save again. Okay, so you can see now that is coloring the checkbox, and it doesn't look bad. All right. You can, if you're interested, this is what coffee looks like. Boo boo. And I think this is one of my favorites. Awesome. Let's leave that. Cool.